Hi crafters, it's Hannah here. Welcome to my channel today. In today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make these cute little boxes, and inside fits one Ferrero Rocher. So these are the boxes that I've made for my swaps for Onstage in Telford, which is Stampin Up's twice annually? Yeah, event, and we make swaps, and obviously we swap them. So we make a bunch and then go to the event, swap them, and come back with a whole load of other projects, inspiration and ideas. So these are my little swaps. There is another version on my Facebook page, which is the mama version, the big version, so I will link to that for you as well. So the how you do it is the same, but just the measurements are different. Obviously this one's a lot bigger, so we'll get started. Right, we're going to start by cutting our cardstock. So let me get my notes. You need a piece of cardstock that is 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. So make sure you can see 3 3/5 1/2 by 3 3/4. So, and keep your scrap bits as well. Then you're going to grab your scoreboard and on the long side, you're going to score it at 1 1/4. Oh, make sure it's right. 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4, and then at 5, and then turn it 90 degrees and score it at 1 1/4 and 2 1/2. Okay, so before you take your scoreboard away, you just need to turn it back to the first side, making sure that 1/2 inch is on the right hand side, and then you're just going to put a little notch, a little mark at 5/8 of an inch, and then 1 7/8. So I'm not actually scoring, I'm just pressing it down, so there's a little mark. Then at 3 1/8, and at 4 3/8. So I don't know if you'll be able to see, there's just a little mark just there. So basically it's in the middle of that square that we formed there. Then with your ruler, get my little ruler here, you're just going to score from that mark in between each, in the middle of each square there, to the corner of the square. So if I zoom, you might be able to see it a little bit better. So I'm going from there to the corner, and there to that corner, from the middle to that corner, and then the middle to that corner, and then do the same in the opposite direction. So from the middle to the corner, all the way along. There, so you've got your triangles all the way along, like so. Okie dokie. So then just fold and burnish all of those lines. Oops. Fold, fold, fold. Then for the diagonal ones, I found it's easiest to just sort of use your hand first of all to fold, and then you will be able to put it down flat so you can burnish it with your bone folder. So if you start to fold it, it'll kind of fall into a bit of a way, so you can get your bone folder in to fold it flat. I hope that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain it other than showing you what I'm doing. So just keep doing that for all of those diagonal score lines. And that one. Like so. Okay, so now you'll have that. Let me just grab my big scissors. We need to do a little bit of cutting. So on the opposite end to where all the triangles are, you're going to cut away that little edge, like so, just that little section, and then just miter that a little bit on the top there, but don't cut that away, we do actually need it. And then just cut straight up the score lines, taking out just a sliver of, and let me make sure I get this right, all of them except the second one from the right. Just make sure. Yeah. So second one in from the right, or third one coming from the left. So all of the rest you're going to miter, but leave that one just because that's the one that's going to be on the outside, so you want to leave that one as it is. Oops. So 1, 2 and 3 have been mitered, but 1, oops, has been left as it is, so then you'll have that. Okay, another couple of little snips that we need to make. I'm going to use my little scissors for this one. On the top edge with the where the triangles are, we need to cut away, and I will grab a pencil just to show you. So where you've got your straight line there, you need to cut away a little wedge like that. So going in from the middle to the straight line, and then out the other side. So if I show you what I mean, like that. So I've cut maybe 1/4 of an inch down. So if I do that, you can see the little wedge that I've cut out. So always remember that the straight line needs to be in the middle of the V that you cut out, and then you'll get it in the right spot. And do that all the way along. So then when you get to this end, you're going downwards, and when you get to here, you need to class that as a straight line as well, so you would go down and up. So just keep the up down pattern going all the way along. So you've got up down, up down, up down, up down, up down, all the way. Okay, now before we close the box up, we're going to punch our holes for the closure. So you want to punch your holes on the V that you've got, yeah, on the V. So as long as it's, let me move that up a little, try and get it so it's about the same measurement all the way along. I'm just bringing this up. There we go. So about halfway up. Yeah. So along that V, you just need to pop a hole. So so it doesn't have to be exactly in the right space, in line with each other, but it does make it neater if you can. So I like the crocodile because it has that little stopper on it, so you can get it into the right position, and then you don't have to keep measuring it every single time. So that's that done. So before we stick it together, we will decorate it. So I stamped all over. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I cannot stop yawning today. I stamped all over with the playful backgrounds stamps, just because when I first made it, the box itself looked a little dull. Not dull, just a bit plain, I guess is what I really mean. So I'm just doing some tone on tone stamping with the playful backgrounds. Now you could do all this before you you know, do all your cutting and all that stuff if you wish. Obviously you don't really need to do all the way down. Okay. Then I took, where's my circle punch? So what I actually did on my swaps is, because I was doing multiple colours, I use a coordinating colour of cardstock, which I do, yes, I have got some scraps, so I can do the same. There we go. So I used one of the other colours of my swaps to punch my circles. So this is a 1 1/4 inch circle. So you need 4 of those. And then whichever designer series paper you would like to use. This one is the Whole of Lovely designer series paper, and I want that one, I think. So then you just need 4 1-inch squares. This is a good way to use up paper scraps. And 4. Okay, so I did stamp on the circles as well, so I will do that too. I'll just use the same stamp. There we go. So circles down first. So this will just fit in the space. So just make sure you're not overhanging any of the score lines. That looks good. Then the squares of paper, you're going to put on a little angle. Oops. So kind of up, down, up, down, up, down as well. Oops, wrong side. Like so. Give that all a good press. now we can put the box together. So this is a 4-sided box, so you can just add your adhesive on the flap and fold that down and give that a sec to hold. So when you do that, you will cover up one of those holes, so you can do it before you finish it or now, it doesn't really matter. Just remake that hole. So if you place it in, and then when the crocodile squeezes, you can see the little thingamabob that actually punches the hole. If you line that up, then you'll get it in the right spot, like so. So let's just re-punch that hole. So where are we? That was the seam. So the one that we didn't cut is going to be the front of the box. So you go side, side, back, and then that last one, and then close that down, and then grab, where's my bone folder gone? Ah, there it is. Just to press the inside. There we go. So for the sentiment, we'll do that first. Oh, let me just go and grab a scrap of cardstock, 1 second. So the sentiment is from the Thoughtful Banners stamp set, and I use the word inspire. So we'll stamp that in black. And then punch that out with the banner punch. And leaving a little bit of space on the right of the word. And then feed it back in. Oh, hang on, let me think. Not that way, is it? It's that way. So just so we've got a short banner, because it doesn't need to be huge because it's only a little box. There. So a little bit of space on either side, because one side we're going to punch a hole, like that, and then the other side there's a tiny little triangle, a stamp that we're going to stamp on the other side. In whichever colour cardstock we use. So it's just a tiniest little decoration on the sentiment. And I can't pick up. There you go. So I just thought that was cute. Okay, then that's pretty much it. Then you put your goodie inside. There are Ferrero Rochers in these ones, and I don't actually have any left to put one in this one, so we'll just pretend that there's a Ferrero inside. And oh no, I didn't use that twine, did I? I used different colour twines for each one. So what I did, basically you're going to thread in and out of the holes that you've made, but where the seam is, that's where I started, because it's a little bit thicker there. It was a little bit more difficult to fold, so that being, it looked better when you start there. So wherever the seam is, start there, and then just go in and out of the hole, the holes. So just keep threading it in and out. And then out the last hole. Come on, there we go. So you're just going in and out of all of your holes. Snip that off. Well, let's tie it first and then snip it off. Thread on your little sentiment. Put whatever goodies you're going to put inside, and then the straight lines, they actually need to fold inwards, so just push in on the straight lines like so, and then it will close into a pyramid. So let me show you again. So the straight lines, you're just going to push those in and it'll make a little star and it'll close down, and when you pull your twine it will hold it closed like so. Hope that makes sense. So then just tie a knot to pull it tight. Obviously go gentle with it because you don't want to rip anything, but you can pull it quite firmly to make sure it stays closed. See? And then tie a little bow, and then just adjust your strings. Because again, it's not a huge box, so you don't need a giant size bow. And then we can trim off. Oh, that's so cute. So it will be held closed. So that's one with a Ferrero Rocher inside, and you can see I have my box full of all my other ones, and this is a giant one that I made on my Facebook page, so I'll link to the giant one as well, see if you want the dimensions of the larger one. But yeah, these are my swaps for on stage. So I'll be, actually as you're watching this video today, I will be at Telford. So when I come back and I've swapped them all, I will share what I've received for my swaps. So let me move that and just bring. So there you go. I hope that you enjoyed watching today's tutorial. If you did, then be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.